When it comes to love, you probably have the same set of ideas in mind. Flowers, candlelit dinners, holding hands, and planning your happily ever after with the man of your dreams. Well, that's all cute and charming. Before you can share those experiences with the guy, you need to make him fall in love with you, which is exactly what I'm going to teach you today. Hey ladies, Amy North here. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a relationship coach from the West Coast of Canada and author of the Devotion System, a program I've designed to help women around the world find and lock down the love they want and deserve. If this is your first time visiting my channel, thanks for coming by. Or if you're a regular viewer, welcome back. Either way though, sit tight because you're in for a real treat today. What's that, you ask? Well, today I'm going to share with you the text messages you can send a man to make him fall in love with you. Now, before you get all worked up or start panicking that this is a huge, seemingly impossible challenge, don't. Stay calm, and believe me, this isn't as hard as it sounds. Better yet, in this video, I'm going to give you text messages that you can use yourself. This means that all you have to do is listen to what I say here and plug these messages into your phone. Simple as that. That said, there are of course going to be situations or circumstances where these messages need adapting. I mean, you're not going to text a man about a trip to Cuba if you've never left the country. But again, don't worry, I'll give you the templates and then all you have to do is personalize them. Before I get ahead of myself though, I do have to mention that there are some super important rules to keep in mind. Now, I say rules because you should never do them, but really, they're just tips. Let me use rules as an acronym to help you remember these pointers though. R, reread your messages. Before you hit send on your phone, it's important that you read the text message you've typed up. Check for clarity, spelling, and tone. Read it at least 5 times. You'd be surprised how easy it is to overlook even the simplest mistakes. Besides, if you send him a powerful message that has to be followed up with a spelling correction or explanation, then the original message you've sent is going to lose its bite. So don't sell yourself short. Read your messages before sending them. Use visual language. Now, when it comes to text messaging, men and women are quite different from one another in terms of the types of messages they best respond to. See, well, us ladies like getting messages that are descriptive and evoke feelings. Men, on the other hand, are visual creatures, so they respond best to descriptive words that will easily let them imagine what you're saying. Let me give you an example. Instead of texting him something like, I really miss you, you could send him something like, I really want to kiss you right now. See the difference between the two? There's not much, but those little subtle things make a difference. So take the time, put in the details, they do matter. L, leave him wanting more. This one's pretty self-explanatory, so simply put, it just means don't overdo it. If you're blowing up your man's phone with pointless messages, then he isn't going to look forward to hearing from you. However, if you only send him well thought out, cleverly crafted messages, well, those are the ones that are going to keep him hanging off your every word, or text rather. E, excite him. So avoid boring messages. I don't know about you ladies, but there are few things that bother me more than the 1 or even 2-word text message. You know the ones I'm talking about. Hi or what's up. They make my skin crawl. Maybe it's because they come across as lazy or they give me the impression that the person sending it is just bored and texting for their own entertainment. Or maybe it's because they don't really make me feel, well, anything, aside from irritated. Anyways, enough about my feelings. My point I'm making is that every message you send, your man should be excited. Now, I know this can be tough, especially if you have the kind of relationship where you communicate daily through text and share those little thoughts and updates. But seriously, believe me when I say that it's time to stop. From here on out, you want to make sure that every text message you send is captivating and exciting. I'll touch more on this later. Now, last but certainly not least, S, stay positive. Again, this one seems self-explanatory, but it's definitely important enough to mention. If you want to make your man fall in love with you by texting him, then the absolute last thing you want to do is send him anything that's negative or depressing. Sure, you'll have your not-so-great days, but even when those strike, keep your messages pleasant. While there's a time and place for opening up and letting your guy in on those vulnerable thoughts and feelings, texting isn't it. So, from now on, think of text messaging as your positive pocket-sized device and only send messages that express feel-good thoughts. So, those are the rules, and as I go through this video, you'll want to keep those in mind. Got it? Good. Well, with those up your sleeve, you're already on your way to texting your way into his heart. One last thing before I dive into the bulk of this video though, if you enjoy what you learn here today or find what I share at all helpful, then please do me a huge favor and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Not only will I appreciate your support, but it's you who keeps allowing me to come out with new content. So please don't forget to click that little red button below. Now, let's get to the good stuff, the text that'll make a man fall in love with you. Number 1, the thinking about you text. If you've been looking for a way to make your man fall in love with you, then this is a great text to start out with. Now, when I say start out with, I'm assuming that you've already met the man and have been seeing him for at least a little while. If you're looking to find out what kind of text to send a man to initially get his attention and make him interested in you, then check out my channel because I do have other videos that are better suited for that sort of scenario. So again, this kind of text and the other ones I'm going to share in this video are intended for if you're already in a relationship with a man. Now that that's established, let's get to the nitty-gritty of this kind of text message. Simply put, the purpose of this type of text message is to do exactly as its name implies, to let your man know that you're thinking about him. But as simple as it sounds, the effect it will have on your guy will be profound. Since it's so easy for us to get beat down by the to-dos of everyday life, then there's no denying that something as small as an unpleasant or demanding text message can make you want to pull your hair out and crawl under a rock. So then, if you can be the reason your man smiles when he looks at his phone, then slowly but surely, you're going to bound his heart to you. To be the positive boost he needs or ball of sunshine in his life, consider sending a text like the following. Hey, I was driving to work this morning and I heard the Beatles song that was playing the first night we met. It made me think of you. Or another example could be something like, you've been on my mind all morning. I can't wait to see you later. Yes, both of these are pretty simple, but the thinking about you text messages are a perfect instance for when less is more. That said, the next few texts I'm going to share with you are a little bit more complex. Number 2, the drive me wild text. If you're looking to make a man fall in love with you, then it's important that you give him what every man desires, sex. Now, that's not to say you have to send him nude or dirty photos of yourself or write the Kama Sutra out for him, but rather it's about turning up the heat a little bit to create sexual tension between the two of you through text messages. Now, the reason why Drive Me Wild texts are so important is because it creates a digital fantasy world for you and your man to explore together. It's a space to say the things that you might not be brave enough to voice out loud, and the chance to tell him all the things that turn you on. For example, let's say that you really love when he kisses a certain part of your body, but anytime you even think of telling him, you feel yourself blush or get awkward. This is exactly the kind of stuff that you can text him. Just be sure that when you do, you make your message as detailed and descriptive as possible. As I already mentioned, men are visual creatures, so you're going to want to really paint him a picture with your words. Sending him, your kisses drive me wild, is okay, but a text like, I cannot wait to feel your lips graze my body tonight. You know the spots that turn me on. That's the kind of message that's going to get him going. Best of all, you don't even have to live out the fantasies you describe here. But that said, just be careful not to explicitly agree to do anything that you have no intention of doing. If you do, then he'll think that you're just all talk, or in this case, all text, which, as you can imagine, is a bit of a turnoff. Number 3, the I love your ... text. Now, this kind of message can be as PG or X-rated as you like, and it's completely up to you. And yes, I will give you examples of both. Before I do though, it's important to explain why these kind of messages make men fall head over heels for the woman sending them. Here's the thing. So many men feel like they don't get enough compliments from their women. Now, as much as this is, yes, our fault, don't beat yourself up over it. After all, society's designed this sort of weird perspective where women are the ones who long for and look for compliments, not men. But that's far from true. So, by taking the time to recognize something about your man, be it his physical self, emotional being, spiritual beliefs, or even just his personality in general, well, that'll make him fall in love with you. That said, you'll want to avoid texting the obvious here. I mean, if your man has stunning blue eyes, then chances are he's heard it his whole life, so hearing the same words from you isn't going to send him over the moon. Though, if you spice it up and say something like, I love staring into your sapphire eyes. They make me feel as deep as the ocean when I'm next to you. Well, those descriptive words are a huge improvement. Again though, try to choose something about your guy that he isn't used to hearing. For example, let's say he has a fiery passion for social justice. You could say something like, you carry yourself with such conviction, just being around you makes me a better person. Or again, if you want to stay with the physical aspects, then blast off a, you are so breathtakingly handsome, and that's the least interesting thing about you. Or, I love the dip in your hip. Running my finger along it really gets me hot and bothered. I cannot stress enough that detail is key here. Because while it's one thing to tell a man he's looking good, telling him specifically what makes him so attractive will stroke his ego and get his heart racing. And remember, guys like to feel like the warrior in the relationship, so keep his manhood in mind when sending him these messages. The last thing you want to do is send him something that's going to make him feel emasculated. If you're interested in learning some more powerful phrases for making any guy wild with desire for you, then visit my site and watch the free video presentation. The URL is www.coachnorth.com/texting, and to keep it easy for you, I'll be sure to post it in the description below as well. Number 4, the recognition reminder text. If there's one thing I talk a lot about in my devotion system program, it's making a man feel appreciated. Without getting into it too much detail here, it's this kind of recognition that keeps him working to win you over. I mean, he's not going to put in continuous effort with you if you don't take the time to recognize the things he does for you. Sure, we're all busy, and yes, it can be hard to find the time to properly show your guy how much you love everything he does. But the good news is you can do this in an extremely powerful and quick way. You can text him. So, what is the recognition reminder text message? Well, it's a series of well thought out words that you should send your man to let him know that you do notice all the things he does for you. Again, this is the kind of message that you're going to want to make your own. So take some time to really think about something amazing your man has done for you. Of course, you're going to want whatever you choose to be time sensitive, because texting him about something he did a year ago isn't going to be as moving as something he did last night. Sure, you can play on the past a little bit, but if you're going to be going this route, then make sure to reference something more recent as well. Here are some examples of recognition reminder text messages. I just wanted to thank you for all the things you do for me. Even though I might not always show it, you mean the world to me. Or, I'm so lucky to have you in my life. Or again, I know I can be stubborn sometimes, but thank you for being so patient with me. You make life so much sweeter. Any combination of these will make your guy feel like he's struck gold. Number 5, the memory mover text. I intentionally saved this text message for last on my list for the simple reason that it's unlike any other ones I've covered today. Where my previous 4 types of messages focused more so on your man, the memory mover is about the two of you as a couple. So, how does it work? Well, for starters, you're going to want to recall a powerful memory you shared together. Next, make a list of how it played out and include every single aspect of it. If it helps, pretend you're a journalist reporting on a big story and fill in the who, what, where, when, why, and how. Leave no detail undescribed. When reading this text message, your guy should be able to see the memory flash before his eyes like an old silent film. This means that you're going to want to use vivid, descriptive language that'll let him easily imagine the memory you're reminiscing about. In a way that's so powerful, he'll feel like he's reliving it in your words. Also, do your best to recall the memory in a present tense. It really gives him the chance to feel like he's reliving the moment. To help you out, here's an example. Remember the first time you took me back to your house? Sitting inches from each other on your couch, I struggled to keep my hands to myself. When we finally crawl into your bed and the sun is rising, you wrap your arms around me and deeply kiss the back of my neck. Your lips on my skin is electrifying, and I can't control what happens next. Now, this example isn't one you can just plug in because, well, if you haven't shared that moment together, then he's going to think you meant to send the message to someone else. And that's going to be incredibly awkward. So, while what I just said gives you a taste of the type of text to send, yours is going to be totally different. That said, to get you started, some good intros could be, remember that time, or imagine we were back in, or the time we went to. Basically, you're setting the scene, so really spell it out for him and tell him a story that will show your fiery feelings of passion and desire. Oh, and don't forget to use words like feel, touch, taste, lick, quiver, shiver, graze, grope, and so on. Basically, any adjectives or descriptive words that will really help bring your text message to life. Believe me, once you do, you'll be glad you did. Now that I've shared these 5 powerful text messages with you, it's your turn to weigh in. Do you have your own set of texts that you'd like to use to get guys into you? Have you ever tried any of the ones I covered here? Did they work? I want to hear from you, so please share in the comment section below and feel free to post any questions you have for me down there too. I'll personally get back to you as soon as possible. Well, that just about does it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Again, if you found this helpful, then please don't forget to click the subscribe button below. After all, it's your support that allows me to keep coming out with new videos for you. Also, share this with your girlfriends. I'm sure they'll love that you're looking out for them. Well, ladies, until next time, take care and good luck.